Applewood Achievers was founded a little over a year ago. During that year, we've been seen amazing growth, both in its members and public speaking skills, and its club strengths as a cohesive unit. Today, Paul would like to review Applewood's growth, what we do well, and how we can improve as we evolve into an established Toastmasters Club. Please help me welcome Paul Nichols, Applewood, a year of success. Applewood, a year of success, Paul Nichols.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Jen, Amanda, and Saka, our guests. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
It's been a little over a year. And for Dawn, Maggie, Landy came on a little bit later, came back in a little bit later. Does it feel like a year? And Shubha, does it feel like a year? I don't.
A good year.
I'll settle for a good year. It's been a very good year. Now I'm starting to feel like Sinatra a little bit. I don't know. Like, fleeting feeling of time. So that time has flown by. And a year is a really good point to mark something and go, okay, what did we do over this past year? What did we do well? And maybe what could we, as we go forward, do to take us to the next level? And in particular, as a new club, that next level is becoming a truly established club. Chartered, really well known through the Toastmasters community, eventually having members go to contests and excel, move through, and then get to know the wider Toastmasters community as a club that produces exceptional speakers. And I know that we're on that path, and we'll go over the reasons why. That'll be a key part of today's speech. The other piece is, before I get there, I'm going to talk about how I've seen valuations help myself and others grow at a personal level, at our speaking and leadership capacities. Then I will go on to what I've seen in the club, and I'll go over the things we've done well, the things that maybe we could do a little bit better, and the things that really just amaze me every single week. The first piece I will go over, though, is how evaluations have helped me, how I've seen it help others as well, both in speaking and leadership. When I first started Toastmasters, my favorite word was or occasionally so. Do not count those. You'll have enough to count for me later. It's a work in progress. And over, I would say the first 6 months, that was probably the biggest piece that I saw improvement. And it was because every week I knew that somebody was going to stand up and mention how many times I said that. And there were weeks you were really excited because you knew the person that was doing it was a little bit easier going. And there were weeks you thought were a nightmare because, oh no, they've got it. But it did push my growth. More recently, on the leadership side, I've had to be club president, which is something that I'm not naturally accustomed to, being right in the front, as well as being a club sponsor, which is really outreach and marketing, which is something I'm very much not accustomed to as a guy that works with numbers behind the desk most of the week. But it has pushed me, and I've found the areas where I feel better about doing that, and areas where I know I will always work. It will always be a work in progress. But that's the value of evaluations. It helps you identify those pieces and know what you can improve on and what you're going to continue to work on. After a year at Applewood, I can see the same kind of patterns. When we first started, it was a few really experienced people and myself, someone who was still fumbling through. And then the new members came in, and we were predominantly new members. And those new members were just trying to figure out, what is this meeting? What are all these roles? What do I do? And over that year, I've had the privilege of seeing a couple of key things come through. One is openness. Even when our newer members came out, they may not have understood every role or been super comfortable coming up to speak, but they were always open. They were always right there at the bottom of the stairs when the new person came in. And that's something that I've seen continue. That really inspires me on a weekly basis. The other piece that we've done over that year is we've gotten a little bit more organized. In those first few weeks, there were times when the meeting there was three of us, and that was it. And we were like, and nobody knew what roles they were doing, and they were going to do 3 roles each. So we've gotten more organized, and that comes with a growing club. You have many hands make light work. But even on the more advanced organization, hosting open houses, we've had a couple of them. The first one we kind of got through and we worked through, but then the second one, there again, many hands made light work, and the newer members were ready and they stepped up, and that willingness to participate was there. There's things that we continue to work on. And this is like week-to-week stuff. So we're good at organizing these one-off events, but then there's still the areas like making sure we sign up for roles well in advance. And that is a key part of a well-running club, is making sure that those roles are filled in advance so that the Toastmaster, like Margarita, who's her first time being Toastmaster up here, can take that off of her plate. Oh, I know the roles are filled, versus scrambling at the last minute. So that's something that we continue to need to work on. And then from a personal level, along that same line, we've been fairly good about tracking our club goals, but I continue to work on being on the ball about scheduling executive meetings to help make sure that we have a clear path as a club. And that's something that impacts the entire club. So that's another piece that we need to work on. But if there's one thing I would say that absolutely knocks it out of the park, every week I'm inspired by it, it's the fact that no matter whether it's 3 of us in this room, not knowing who's going to speak and coming up with a speech on the fly, or looking forward to the next year going, all right, who's going to step up and be president for this role or that role for the club executive, there's always that willingness and that determination to make this club a success, and it hits me every single week. It's consistent. It's just, it never stops, and I love that about this club. So when I look at evaluations and I look at the club, I know that this club is on its way to better things. It's on its way to becoming an established, chartered club with 20, going on to 30 members. Eventually we're going to be bursting out of this room and we're going to have to find new locations. And we're going to be going to these contests. And we're going to send Margarita and Caesar and all of you to different contests. And you're going to, with winning those contests and moving on to the next level. And you're going to see that personal growth that I saw in that first 6 months. And I really understand why Toastmasters is as powerful as it is. Evaluations are critical. They're critical to us individually as public speakers and leaders, and they're critical to the club, both to ensure that everybody gets what they want out of Toastmasters, and that the club as a whole runs and remains healthy. I appreciate this last year, all the hard work and all the new faces. I hope and wish all of you success in 2019, as well as success in Applewood as we move to the next stage of becoming an established club. Thank you very much.